Welcome everybody. I'm back. This is Gabe again, and today we are gonna continue that fantastic little adventure, which is the Outgunned adventure, which is a standalone upcoming sequel of the existing Outgunned system, which is by far is one of the best and most favorite system of all. And I don't want to talk about too much about the system because I did it in the previous video. But before I'm going to continue this adventure, some important announcement. Of course, I didn't get any compensation or review copy or anything from Two Little Mice, which is the publisher of this adventure. I'm doing it entirely for fun, so that's important. And another important announcement is that if you are a player who might going to play this adventure in the near future with the GM, although I try to change many things possible without to deviate too far from the original system, but it definitely would contain some spoilers, so I recommend to stop watching it and first probably play the game with the GM. So with that, I'm going to continue just a very little recap from the first episode, which of course you can watch it if you didn't first, but let's just really quickly just review what happened in the previous episode. So a merry band of adventurers was actually hired by a professor to reclaim a lost treasure, which is actually Eric the legendary Viking's tomb somewhere in Greenland. So the group of adventurers are June. She's basically a Korean origin, and she's a smuggler and a little bit reckless. And of course, most important thing to her is to claim the treasure and sell it for the highest bidder. Now there is the colleague of the professor, because the professor who gave them this assignment is too old to personally participate in the expedition. He sent one of his colleagues, Raymond Suri, to overview the whole mission and to make sure that whatever they gather is really worth the effort. Then the other two important characters are actually Alaska. She's the pilot, actually, and she's a very skilled in basically fixing things, even disarming traps and such. And then, last but not least, is Jason. Jason is a real daredevil. It's a hero whose main mission is to protect the others and stand in the harm's way as much as possible. So these four guys are flown to Greenland, and in the beginning of the adventure they immediately faced a very impossible task to climb a very steep ice wall, because on the top they might be able to find the lost tomb. After a very dangerous and long climb, they finally reach their destination, and they find the structure on the top of the hill. And obviously when June was recklessly inserted the key into the hole on this monument, then something happened, because she was reckless and she's very maverick. So as soon as the key was inserted into the lock, immediately the whole ice mountain started to crumble, and the whole peak was fall into the sea along with the adventurer. So this is where we will stop the adventure. And now today we're gonna see, you can see the key. Here you can see that what happened, and maybe the adventurer still see the light of day or not, or what's going to happen. So let me just read again. So again, as I just explained in the previous episode, this is not a real-time playthrough. I was playing through that with my own pace, and then I will give you the whole reconstruction of the episode. Unfortunately, you were still not able to see the die rolls itself. The Outgunned system is using a very special dice, which in the meantime I received my Outgunned pledge, so now I have the real, I'm trying to show you the real dice, the Outgunned dice, which as you can see there is no numbers on it. It's used some special symbols, and if you want an overview of how the system is working, then definitely go and watch the first episode. So now with that, let's just get into it. So will they survive? This is where we was left off in the previous episode. The world started to spin, and almost like slow motion, all four of them fall to the sea among the crumbling ice to the dead cold water. All of them must roll a critical reaction roll that how they're going to react on that for the ice cold water from the shock, and do they may be crushed by the ice, whatever. So let's see. Alaska, she have a dice pool of 5, and she straight away rolled an extreme success. And as nimble as she is, she even made a flip-flop in the air to reach the water in the optimal angle. Jason have a dice pool of 6, and immediately straight rolled a critical success. So he was a lucky daredevil and avoided most of the ice shards. And then the second he popped up on the surface, he started to looking for the professor, because he feel that he's his responsibility, that the professor, who is not a typical adventurer, of course, will survive. Now June scored only 2 basic success for the first roll. So, well, since that was a danger roll, she don't wanted to risk a reroll, okay? Because that with that, if she was failed the roll, she gonna lose 3 grits, but with the 2 basic success, she's gonna lose only 1. Okay, so she wasn't so lucky, and the piece of ice had a bullseye on her leg, caused a minor bruise. Now Raymond, on the other hand, the professor, will roll only 4 dice and achieved only a basic success. So, of course, he will want to risk the reroll and another basic success. So he will lose only 1 grit, but as she plunged into the water from the shock, she's almost immediately passed out. Now they started to swim desperately toward the shore, where they can immediately see a big cave entrance just on the foot of this ice mountain. And after the initial shock caused by the ice cold water, they desperately started swimming toward the ice wall, where a cave entrance was spotted. The distance is maybe 30-40 meters, but do they survive that long in the water? All of them need to roll Brown plus survive and get at least 2 basic success to reach the cave. Except Jason, who need a critical success because he need to take care of the unconscious professor. So Alaska rolled at 4 dice and got a basic success, but with a reroll, he got a critical success, so she's reached the cave, and she was collapsed to the floor, exhausted and trembling. Jason rolled at 5 dice and got only a basic success. After reroll, still 1 basic success, so she's losing it. He failed the roll, losing 2 grits, and keeps struggling with the professor body and the ice cold water. June, on the other hand, rolled at 6 dice and got a critical success, and then on top of it, a basic success. So June reached the cave entrance, and for the extra basic success, she immediately take a piece of rope from her harness and throw it to the struggling Jason. Raymond get the tired condition and must roll a critical success not to lose more grits, which will be very difficult with 3 dice. Ouch, not even a basic success, so no reroll, and he is losing another 3 grits. Jason now need only 2 basic success to reach the cave with June's help. He rolled only 1, and after the reroll, nothing. He lost 2 more grit and getting a tired condition. He is definitely struggling. June and Alaska was tried and started to pulling the rope with full strength as they see that Jason is at the end of his reserves. Now Jason only needed one basic success to finally reach the safety, and he made it with two basic successes. He just mobilized his lost reserves and finally reached the cave. Fortunately, they did not spend too much time in the water, and the tight and high quality winter clothes the professor was insisted was keep them more or less dry. Jason was turned to the professor into his side and started to check his life signs. He's breathing, all good. I can't see any cuts or bruises on his head. He was simply passed out because of the shock. Alaska said, "Let's move further inside. I feel there is a lot warmer over there." There was dragged the professor for another 50-60 meters ahead into the cave tunnel, where all was able to feel the temperature was a lot warmer. They have only one flashlight left without any spare batteries, so they must use it sparingly. They decided to rest for a few hours or until the professor wakes up, so they are able to get back all the lost grits and get rid of any existing conditions. Well, the professor waked up after about 2 hours later, and he started to mumbling as he was still half asleep. No, don't do it. I think it's fake." Jason was grabbed and shaked him. "Professor, wake up. All good now. You are safe." Where I am? What happened?" "Well, we was able to pull you out from the water just in time, and to what happened, I was hoping you will tell us." The professor just looking at June and started to point his finger at her angrily. You, I told you to wait. I knew it was fake just by looking at it." "Oh, how I was supposed to know that? Give me a break," said June and just shrugged her shoulders. "Okay, everyone, just calm the heck down," said Alaska. What do you mean on fake? What was fake?" "Well, the monument or tomb or whatever we have found up there was Christian symbols on it. And Eric the rest was pagan. He never converted to Christianity. He declined it and despised it. There is no way to have Christian symbols on his memorial. This was a deliberate fake, a trap." "I see," answered Alaska. "Well, there is nothing we can do about it now. June, just promise me to hold yourself back and do not touch anything before the professor says so. Okay?" "Oh, whatever," said June, like she don't care. But in fact, she was of course blaming herself to endanger everyone in the team. A rookie mistake. But because of her Asian nature, she was just not able to show her regret to the others. Her impatient and reckless actions was caused enough trouble for her before. Jason was quietly listening the conversation, then he was stand up. "Okay, everyone. If everyone is rested enough, I suggest to move on. This isn't a place I wanted to spend more time than absolutely necessary. Shall we?" The others just nodded quietly, and everyone was ready to move in a few minutes. Even the professor too. Looks like he already forgot that he was almost died a few hours before. He was excited and curious what they're gonna find in this mysterious cave. As Jason was put the beam of flashlight ahead, he was noticed a few unnatural shapes on the floor. Skeletons. Judging by their crumbling helmets and weapons, long dead Viking warriors. "Oh, they at least 1,000 years old. Look at the weapons," mumbling the professor seemingly only to himself. "Don't get too excited, Professor. We need to move," said Jason. Alaska was picking up a crude torch, and after studying it for a bit, she said, "Well, let me try to light this thing, then we might be able to conserve some battery." She took out her lighter and after fumbling with it, finally lighted it up. Will the old torch can be lighted up? Well, she needed a critical success of focus and fix for this, and she got a dice pool of 5, and because she have a torch lighter that give her +1 dice, so 6 dice is rolled and only got 2 basic success. Not good enough. And the reroll, nope, and lost one of the basic success. But miraculously, in the last second, the torch is suddenly just light up. Now, here again, it comes one of the biggest deviation I did from the original written adventure, because of course to first of all surprise myself, and get some really unexpected things, and of course to give you guys less and less spoilers. So I'm gonna use the random location crafter rules from the Mythic Game Master emulator. So with every move, I'm gonna roll for a connector. A connector means which is connecting to location, in that particular area, which is the cave, and then I'm going to roll at every location for an encounter and for a random object, if you might find something. Of course, we didn't know anything, up ahead, so absolutely we have no information. We just know that might be we will find that real tomb of Eric the Red inside that cave. Okay, so first roll for the connector was 42, which is the same, so which means that that same tunnel was continuous to the inside of the cave monument inside of this ice hill, basically. So the same tunnel still goes straight ahead, and the other element roll is expected, which is again is the same tunnel, which is ice everywhere, quite dark actually, but there is nothing anywhere. And I rolled for a random descriptor, which gives me abandoned and enormous, and the tunnel continues and widens considerably. The whole place feels completely abandoned and enormous. So encounter and object, there is nothing, there is none. And the connector roll was 99, it's exclusive and smelly. So the tunnel is still continues almost in a perfectly straight line, which proves that it was artificially created. The team was admired the tremendous work, and the only thing bothering them in the admiration of this exclusive display was the burning torch smell, which was getting stronger. Again, a new area element roll was a random, dry and amusing, so an empty hall which is huge and amusingly dry considering the circumstances. Perhaps this was the place where the builders was resting, because obviously there was absolutely undeniable sign that this whole cave system was somehow artificially created. But nothing was left behind. Even if there was some items of furniture, they was long gone. Again, the new connector to the next location, it's basically it's a large cavern tunnel leading further inside of the belly of the ice mountain, which leads to a slightly curved tunnel. So the tunnel started to curving, started to bend. Now, what I get first, it's a random, and it's a weak and a full. I came up with the idea that probably, more likely, that's some kind of a trap. Now, June constantly scanning the floor and the walls for any sign of a secret door or a potential trap. She felt the hair standing up on her neck and waved to the others to stop. She rolled focus plus detect, and need only one basic success to detect something, which looks like an easy challenge because that was one of the descriptor, it was weak. So 5 dice are rolled, got only one success, and she was able to find immediately the concealed pressure plates on the floor. Of course, they don't know what kind of trap is it by the look of this, but she need definitely one more roll to find the mechanism where the trap might be disarmed. And she got a critical success. So it didn't take long to find the simple and crude structure attached behind the icicle hanging from the ceiling, the really huge big icicle. It is your show now, say June to Alaska, just to be careful where you put your feet. Because, as I told you, that Alaska is the master of things to fixing it and even, getting them apart. So Alaska nodded and fished out some tools from her bag. She needed a critical success to safely disarm the trap. As she had the fixed feet, it means that she can even have a free reroll, even if she wasn't scored at least a basic success for the first roll, and even if she didn't get a better result, she's not gonna lose that one basic success. So she will roll focus plus fix, a total of 5 dice, and oops, not even a basic success. Now let's see the free roll. Only a basic success. That's not good. Alaska was humming in confusion. I should have known. There was another trigger. And watch out, screamed Jason, because the huge icicle was suddenly crumbled down with a thundering, crackling sound. Alaska needed a critical reaction roll to save herself. Nurse plus dexterity, a 5 dice roll. And basically with the reroll, she got 2 basic success. So she was able to jump aside, but not fast enough. A big chunk of ice hit her hard. Lost 1 grit and became nervous. Very nervous. So when they started to clear the crumpled ice from the way, suddenly something was glinted. It was in the ice. When they carefully crushed the ice, it was something extravagant and unusual. Raymond was taking the object with shaking hands, and for long minutes he wasn't able to say a word. He was totally mesmerized. Okay, Prof, so what is it? It is worth something, asked June. Does it worth something? It's invaluable. If I am right, this is Odin's ceremonial drinking horn. Wow! The rim and the tip of the horn are capped with fine gold, embossed with figures of Norse gods such as Odin and Thor, showcasing the high status of its original owner. The extravagance of the object is emphasized by rare gemstones embedded into the decorative metalwork, making it a remarkable and unique artifact reflecting the artistry and religious significance of the Viking Age. And what the hell it was doing in the bloody ice? Asked Jason. Well, I don't know, said the professor. Maybe someone was lost it, or they would just put it there as a morbid gift if someone would survive the crushing ice. June was quickly grabbed the horn and put it in her backpack. And it is better if it comes with me, don't you think? But, started mumbling Raymond, there is no but. Let's get moving. We wasn't get paid for this, June pointed to her backpack. This is just the bonus. Okay, now finally, I will achieve the complete result in the location crafter table, and it means that we finally reached our destination in the cave. So the curved tunnel was continued and led into a big hallway-like cave. As they proceed on the path, they realize that the ice beneath their feet is slowly turning into a finished stone floor. Holding the torch high, they see the beginning of a man-made hallway dating back to the year 1000. They are on the correct path. At the end of the hallway, they can make out a stone statue of Odin, the Norse god, holding a golden spear in one hand, and on the ground they see square tiles in many fading colors, apparently laid without a regular pattern. Wow. And here is the statue. Okay. Now, from that point on, I'm gonna using a deck of oracle cards to determine that how the characters will handle this situation. All the questions are asked with the 50-50 odds. Okay, so these are the cards. I can show you here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is the oracle table on it, so it's very easy. And I already asking some questions before I'm further progressing with this scene. So those the characters searching for traps? No, but, which means that it's a no, but maybe there is a very slight chance that somebody start to make sense of the whole situation. Does the characters notice anything about the statue? And it's a resounding yes, so yes. So here it goes. Wow, this is just might be the place we're looking for, said Alaska. On another damn trap, replied Jason. Let the professor assess the situation. So that was the clue that if someone might need to search for traps. And no one get it. That is Odin for sure, although I must say a very strange representation, said the professor. Does he notice something special about Odin's patch, which he's wearing above his eyes? And it say yes. I saw these symbols on this eye patch before, on his eye patch before. But where? Those he will remember? No. I can't remember. But I will figure it out. Maybe any of the other characters can give him a clue. Again, the oracle say no. So I just let the professor roll focus plus no with a moderate difficulty to remember. He will roll 6 dice. He rolled a straight critical success and a basic success. I got it. These are exactly the same symbols like on Odin's key. Who has the key? Give it to me. Well, Professor, do you remember that we ended up in the sea when I used that stupid key? Asked June. And you want me to go back and try to find it on the bottom of the bloody sea? Ah, great, said Jason. So what now? Well, can't see any hole to insert the stupid key anywhere, said June. Okay, so we just simply waltzing to the statue then, Professor? Asked Alaska. Well, I don't know. Perhaps the key could have been important, or maybe not, said Raymond. Can't see why not, said June. I clearly see that the hallway is continuous behind the statue. And with that, she slowly and carefully started to walk toward the statue. She was exactly about halfway when the badly crafted torch snaps and everything went dark. So, to be continued. So, if you like the video, please subscribe and like it, and to get notified when the next episode will coming up in a few days. So, thank you for your attention, guys, and I really hope so that you like it, that adventure so far. Bye-bye.